Hello, and welcome to the season finale, the final episode of Evolve Business with Boatema. Definitely, it's only for the season one. My name, of course, is Boatema Boateng. Special thanks goes to Chic by Siba, our proud sponsor, for always providing our clothes, these lovely, lovely clothes, Afrocentric clothes and accessories. Today, we'll be discussing doing business in Ghana as a foreign national. So I'll let our special guest in, Mr. Frederick G. Sampson, a lawyer. Hello. Hi, Fred. Can you hear me? Hello, Fred. Hello.
Hello, B.
Hey, Fred. How are you?
Yes, B, I'm well. And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks so much for making some time out of your busy schedule, because I know that you are at the bar conference.
Yes, indeed.
Join us to Evolve Business with Boatema Boateng.
Sure. Anytime, Mommy.
Thank you. We don't want to take too much of your time, so we'll just go straight into the letter and then we'll just dive right into it. Okay. So
All right, sure.
And then we'll take it from there. So, dear Evolve Business, I am an Australian national and a serial entrepreneur. A few years ago, I visited Ghana for the Year of Return celebrations. I realized that there are so many business opportunities for me in Ghana, but I want to tread cautiously. I want to know the following. One, can a foreigner engage in any industry of his choice, or are there any businesses reserved for only Ghanaians? Two, what is the minimum amount of investment a foreigner can make in a Ghanaian business? And three, a friend tells me to register with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Why should I register? Are there any incentives? And his name is Mr. Travis Train. Okay. So welcome again, Fred.
Well, thank you very much, Boatema.
Lovely. What do you think about Travis's situation? He is interested in doing business in Ghana.
Yes, I think, well, it is a good initiative and it is a good request. I suppose it is clear that he is a foreigner. He's not a Ghanaian. So under Ghana law, if you want to do business in Ghana, which is encouraged because it boils down to FDIs, encouraging foreigners to invest in Ghana.
Yes.
Now, with regard to the legal requirements, one would have to look at the Ghana Investment Promotion Center, which is an act of parliament with the purpose of course, setting up a center called the GIPC.
Okay.
It is responsible for the encouragement of promotion or investment promotion in Ghana, providing an attractive incentive framework for such businesses. So our friend's question or request falls clearly within the scope of GIPC and the requirements in that particular law.
Okay. So first of all, he wants to know if a foreigner can engage in any industry of his choice, because he says that he came for a few years ago, the Year of Return. I'm sure he had a lot of fun in Ghana and realized that he has to come and set up and make some good money here. So he's asking if he can engage in any industry of his choice, or if there are businesses that are solely reserved for Ghanaians. That's his first question.
Okay. So the answer to the first question is no. Once you are a foreigner, you cannot engage in any business of your choice. There are restrictions, or there are areas of the Ghanaian economy that is reserved specifically for Ghanaian nationals. So once you are a foreigner, you have to look at those aspects of the economy and see if what you want to do falls in that regard, then you are prohibited because it is an area that is reserved solely. And I think the emphasis should be on solely for Ghanaians. And those areas, among other things, includes the sale of goods or provision of services in a market, petty trading, operation of a taxi or car hire services. Of course, that one, let me add, if you are a foreigner and you want to venture into that particular aspect, operation of a taxi or car hire services, you need to have a fleet of vehicle of more than 25 vehicles.
Oh, okay. So you're saying that generally you cannot own a taxi, but then if you want to own, get into that kind of business, then you should have at least 25 vehicles.
That is if you are not a citizen of Ghana, yes.
That is if you are not a citizen of Ghana.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Otherwise, you are prohibited because it is an area reserved for Ghanaian nationals. So that is the exception on the operation of taxi and car hire services. So generally, it is a prohibited area for foreigners. However, if you're a foreigner and you want to do it, then there is a limit. Your fleet of vehicle for that business shouldn't be below 25 vehicles.
No,
you also have areas like operation of a beauty salon or a barbering shop. I see why you are laughing. Last week, I had a haircut and the person who barbered me was a Nigerian. So, I mean, but of course, that is an area that is limited only for Ghanaian. Printing of rechargeable scratch cards for use of subscribers of telecommunication network operators. Production of exercise books, among other things. So clearly, there are areas that are limited or specifically limited for Ghanaian nationals, such that our friend who asked this question cannot venture into that particular sector.
That's interesting. That's
yes,
interesting. I find that something like production, retail of finished pharmaceutical products, well, sachet water.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I mean, you're saying that the law is saying that you are not supposed to, foreigners are not supposed to venture into them.
Okay. No.
But whether or not they're actually doing it is a matter of enforcement.
Yes. in fact, if you look at the law critically, it even includes all aspects of pool betting business, lotteries, etc. So our law is express on the prohibitions for foreign nationals. Of course, as to the enforceability or the enforcement of that one, we leave it to the regulators or the law enforcers.
Interesting. Wow. So, okay, so let's move to his second question. He's saying, what is the minimum amount of investment a foreigner can make in a Ghanaian business?
Okay, so now with regard to minimum capital requirements, let me divide it into 3 or 4.
Okay.
Now, the law anticipates the possibility of a foreign national joining a Ghanaian citizen to invest in the economy. And of course, once we have established that there are certain aspects of the economy that foreigners cannot venture, so the requirement will relate to other areas that they are not prohibited. So a foreigner can join a Ghanaian national and invest in a business in Ghana. The requirement for that one is that the foreigner must provide a minimum of $250,000, either in cash or in capital goods, or a combination of the two. And the capital goods, the law says it must be relevant to the investment that is being made. So that is the first aspect, where there is a joint ownership, a foreigner and then a Ghanaian national. They want to do business. So the requirement is a minimum requirement of $250,000 in either cash or capital goods, or a combination of cash and capital goods. The second leg, I would say, is where it is a fully foreign owned. The enterprise is it has no Ghanaian participation. It is only 100% foreign owned. The law says that that foreigner who wants to do that investment must invest a minimum of 500,000 US dollars, also in cash or capital goods, or a combination of the two that is relevant to the investment that is being made.
Okay.
So, I mean, that is the first two I will look at. The third one is a non-citizen who would want to do trading must also invest in the economy, or must also invest a minimum of 1 million US dollars. So that is his or her requirements. It could be more, but it shouldn't fall below this.
Okay.
Now, let me hasten to add that the requirements I have mentioned are what you call the generic ones.
Okay.
There may be industry-specific requirements. So if you want to, let's say, engage in the financial sector, the Banks and Specialized Deposit-Taking Institutions Act are there. There are specific legislation, insurance, those have, and when there's an inconsistency, those special legislation will prevail. So that is a fourth angle from which I wanted to answer this particular question.
Okay, so I'll just, for the sake of our viewers, I'll just take it again. So
Sure.
saying that, first of all, if someone wants to get enter into business with a Ghanaian, then the person must invest at least a minimum of 200,000 United States dollars.
250.
Okay, that amount can be in cash or capital goods.
Yes.
Okay. And then it has to be, if it's capital goods, it has to be relevant to the business for which they are, I mean, the business they're venturing into.
Investing. Yes.
Okay, so that's the first one. And you're saying the second one is that if the person is trying to, let's say, for the sake of our letter, Travis decides to enter into a business by himself, wholly, that one, he's not bringing in any Ghanaian at all, then he has to invest a minimum of 500,000 United States dollars.
Yes.
And also either in goods or cash. And if it's in goods, capital goods, it has to be relevant to the investment. Okay.
Indeed.
So that he cannot bring in, let's say, if he's trying to get into, let me go back to your example of a fleet hiring. He cannot say that he's bringing in equipment which is totally unrelated to what he says he's doing. Okay.
Yes.
And then the third one you spoke about, that one is trading.
Yes.
So that if you are selling goods, you are selling or buying goods, it doesn't matter what goods they are. It doesn't matter whether you have a Ghanaian in it as well or not. The law is saying that you should invest a minimum of 1 million United States dollars, right? And then the fourth category you addressed was the industry specific requirements, that there are certain industries that may have other specific requirements, okay, for foreigners who join, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
And just to add, with regard to the joint ownership.
Yes.
The Ghanaian or the citizens' equity, the law says it shouldn't be less than 10%.
Okay.
So you can't, let's say, come and set up a company and use a Ghanaian as a partner who will have, let's say, 5% equity share in the entity, and then a foreign person will hold 95%. The law gives a minimum of 10%. So the citizen partner in that venture should own not less than 10% equity in that enterprise that is seeking to do business in Ghana. Okay.
All right. Thank you. So what about if I'm a spouse of a Ghanaian? Assuming since Travis says he came on a chilling expedition, year of return, what if he met someone one of the key reasons that he's trying to set up in Ghana is because he met someone. I mean, this is not part of the fact that he provided us, but I'm just asking, what if he married a Ghanaian, and would he still have to meet all these capital requirements?
Okay, so the law says that the minimum capital requirement that we have discussed does not apply to a foreigner who has a Ghanaian spouse or whose spouse is a citizen of Ghana. You see, now let me just go into some further details. The minimum capital requirement will not apply to a foreigner who is married to a Ghanaian. Now, if the foreigner has married this Ghanaian for a minimum of 5 years, so that, and I think the law anticipates the possibility of foreigners marrying a women to take advantage of the minimum capital requirement.
Why are you saying foreigners marrying a woman? Isn't it?
Well, the other, well, or vice versa.
Amen.
Yes, yes. Or vice versa. So that foreigners shouldn't take advantage of our men and women to beat the system. So if you are in such a situation, the law says that you should have married the Ghanaian man or the Ghanaian woman for a minimum period of 5 years. I mean, to that extent, you are exempted from the minimum capital requirement that has been discussed. Also, the marriage has to be verified as having been conducted. And or the foreign spouse should be ordinarily resident in Ghana.
Oh, I see.
So when you find yourself in these categories, the minimum capital requirements not be applicable to you under the laws of Ghana.
Right. So, okay. What about us? I mean, if you hail from my part of the country, we Ashantis and are traveling and boggering, as we like to call it. What if I mean I move out of the country and then I get, let's say, another citizenship? Will that still apply? Would I still be because I mean now I wouldn't be a Ghanaian, and I may be coming as, let's say, an Australian. Okay, so does it mean that now that I'm an Australian, I will have to meet this capital requirement?
Okay, so I will take this question from two angles. One, I mean, you know, before 1998, under Ghana law, you couldn't have a dual citizenship. So let's say Boatema is a Ghanaian. She marries a gentleman who is not a Ghanaian. Automatically, she may lose her citizenship as a national. That is prior to the amendment we had to our constitution in 1997 or 1998. You don't have to comply with that requirement, even if you lose your citizenship. The law says that a citizen of Ghana who loses his or her citizenship on the assumption of the citizenship of another nationality, whether by marriage, by naturalization or any other, you don't have to go through the requirements that we have discussed. It means that if you want to come back to invest in the economy, the law will still see you or treat you as a citizen of Ghana, irrespective of the fact that you have lost your nationality by you've lost your nationality as a Ghanaian. On the other aspects, currently under the Ghanaian law, you don't lose your nationality as a Ghanaian if you acquire an additional nationality.
Okay.
Unless under that law, under the law of that foreign country, you must automatically lose your citizenship of Ghana to assume their nationality. In either cases, when you come back to invest in Ghana, the capital requirements that we have discussed are not applicable to you. It means that you will be seen and treated as a national of Ghana, and therefore you can invest in any economy that you like, and the capital requirements will not be applicable to you.
Okay, so this particular law is saying that once a Ghanaian, always a Ghanaian, and so even if you're
yes,
even if you're a Ghanaian now, and at some point in time you lose your citizenship, I mean, this minimum capital requirements wouldn't apply to you because once a Ghanaian, always a Ghanaian. Okay, now let's move to his third question. Okay, he's saying that a friend tells him to register with the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. Why should I register, and are there any incentives?
Okay, so why should you register? I think you should register. The entity should register first of all because it is a legal requirement. The law makes it mandatory that an enterprise in which foreign participation is allowed shall, after registering with the Registrar General's Department, i.e., after incorporating in Ghana, shall register with the center. And the center here means the Ghana Investment Promotion Center. So the first answer to his question is, it is not an option.
Okay.
It is a compulsion. It is mandatory that once you are an enterprise with a foreign participation, i.e., you have a foreign shareholder or it is fully foreign owned, the law makes it mandatory that you shall register with the center. It means that if you enter Ghana to do business as a foreigner and you bypass the GIPC registration process, you are flouting the laws of Ghana.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yes.
Because,
now,
okay, please go ahead.
Yes. Secondly, when you register with the center, of course, there are incentives and benefits that accrue to such an enterprise. So there are two things. I mean, you should register because it is a legal requirement, and then also there are some incentives that are applicable or that you are afforded by the law.
Okay, so let's get into the incentives. What are some of these incentives?
Okay. Well, I think the incentives, some of them could be, I mean, there are tax incentives. So when you look at the law, it says that an entity that has registered with the GIPC shall be entitled to benefits and incentives that are applicable to, I mean, it says Internal Revenue Act, but now I can say the Income Tax Act. So that if there are tax incentives or there are tax incentives under certain legislation that are applicable to foreign-owned entities, your registration under the GIPC Act automatically makes you a beneficiary under those incentives. There are immigration quotas that you stand to benefit based on the capital requirement that has been invested. And all these are clearly spelled out in law. You also have the benefit of, I mean, investment guarantees. So that whatever investment you have made in the economy, you will not have the situation where your asset will be expropriated, or what we call the state may not exercise the right of eminent domain or a compulsory acquisition against your assets. You are also not discriminated against. In fact, the law says that you are supposed to have the same treatment, rights, and of course, duties as if you are a Ghanaian citizen. So you shouldn't have a fear that I've come to invest in Ghana because I'm not a Ghanaian, I would be discriminated against by virtue of my nationality. So there are indeed several benefits that such a person stands to gain when he or she invests in Ghana.
I find because a lot of the times businessmen are looking for returns on their investments, one of the key incentives that I really like under this act is the guarantee of being able to transfer the investments back home. So if you make returns, that is via dividends or any profits, the fact that you can take it back home freely transferable without any conditions or
Yes.
restrictions, as long as you have abided with the laws of Ghana. I think
Yes.
it's very key. What do you think about that particular?
I think so too. I mean, because the the desire or the interest of every business person is to make or maximize profits. I think when you study economics, you are told it is not about profit making, it's about profit maximization.
That's right.
And for a businessman, whether foreign or local, you are looking at the returns on your investment. So that if I come from, let's say, Australia, and I do business in Ghana and I make so much dividends, there shouldn't be any fetter or any restriction on my ability or freedom to repatriate or transfer my dividends or the returns of my investment back to my home country. And I think that is key. And I believe it is part of the incentives that, I mean, Ghana as a country has put in place to ensure that foreigners who invest in Ghana are assured of that particular right. And indeed, when you look at the purpose of the GIPC Act, it is one thing that is clear, that look, you can come and invest in Ghana and still have your freedom to repatriate your dividend as far as you comply with the laws of Ghana.
Okay, so I mean, so far we've been looking at the benefits for foreigners. What about our Ghanaians? Are Ghanaians also able to register with the GIPC and enjoy some of these benefits?
Yes, indeed, an enterprise that is a fully owned Ghanaian enterprise, and here we use the word in the law, may. So it is an option that is given to the local business person or the Ghanaian business enterprise. It is an option you exercise. You may register with the GIPC. And when you register with the GIPC, you also stands to benefit or stands to get the benefits that we have discussed. So when you do a contrast between the citizen who is doing business and then the foreigner, you realize that with the foreigner, the requirement to register is mandatory.
Yes.
It is a condition precedent to your doing business. With the Ghanaian, it is an exercise of discretion. The law says that you may register with the center, and when you do, you stand to get the benefits that are provided under the GIPC Act.
Thank you very much, Fred. Thank you. But do you have any last few words for people doing business in Ghana in general, foreigners included?
Well, I should think the only thing I would say is, as a country that is welcoming investments or investors, the doors of Ghana are always open to foreign investors. Our laws are there to protect both nationals and non-nationals. So businesses are encouraged. In fact, there are statutory incentives to ensure that businesses come into Ghana, because at the end of the day, it helps build the economy. And then it also creates employment both for nationals and non-nationals. So I think we have the measures and the legal framework in place to encourage businesses, and they are all welcome to invest in the Ghanaian economy.
Thank you very much, Fred. Thank you so much for joining us today for Evolve Business with Boatema. It's just been so insightful. Everyone watching us has really learned something from you, especially the foreigners. And today happens to be, so you're very special. Today happens to be the end of our season. The season finale for season 1 is the 10th episode. And so we are going to go on a break. and a few weeks and come back with an even better Evolve business with Boatema. Special thanks goes to our sponsor. She's seen us through from day one to the end, Chic by Siba. They have Afrocentric clothing accessories. Fred, go and get some for your beautiful wife.
Certainly, I'll do. I'll do. Thank you.
Thank you so much, viewers, for always
Welcome.
joining us and for always coming back. Thank you, Fred. Have a very
Welcome.
good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you too. Bye.